Welcome to a journey through history and mystery, where the lines between fact and fiction blur like shadows in the moonlight. Have you ever wondered what lies behind those timeless tales we've all heard since childhood? Today, we're diving deep into one of the darkest stories hidden within the pages of history, the Pied Piper of Hamelin. Imagine a medieval town, surrounded by fields and forests, its cobblestone streets bustling with life. This is Hamelin in the late 13th century, a place where superstitions run as thick as the fog that rolls over the Rhine. In this era, when plagues could strike without warning, townsfolk lived day to day, never knowing if today would be their last. One June morning in 1284, Hamelin woke to find itself under siege, but not by an army or a plague. It was a war on rats. The town was overrun with rodents, gnawing at the very fabric of life. Panic set in, and it seemed like no solution could be found until one day, a stranger appeared. Dressed in vibrant colors that made him stand out against the drab surroundings, this man approached the mayor, claiming he had a unique way to solve their problem. He was known as the Pied Piper, named for his colorful attire and strange flute-playing ability. The town agreed, eager to be rid of their rodent enemies. And so began one of history's most chilling tales. As the piper played his magic melody, the rats came out in droves, following him through the streets until they disappeared over the horizon. Some say into the river, others whisper that they simply vanished into thin air. The townsfolk were relieved and grateful, but their joy was short-lived. When it came time to pay the piper for his service, Hamelin refused. Greed and distrust had already started to seep through the town's veins. Furious at being denied what he felt was due, the piper returned with a haunting tune, not of music but of sorrow and despair. This time, instead of rats, it was 130 children who followed him out of town on the feast day of St. John and St. Paul. The townsfolk watched in horror as their children vanished, never to be seen again. The piper's flute echoed through the streets one last time before silence fell over Hamelin. Parents wept, communities mourned, and a legend was born, one that would echo down the centuries. Now, imagine living in such uncertainty, not knowing if your child might leave without warning on a day deemed sacred by both faiths and folklore. That's exactly what happened in Hamelin. But why? Why did this happen? Some say it wasn't rats, but humans who needed to be led away. A recruiter for distant lands, or perhaps even the Crusades, using his vibrant clothing and enchanting flute to attract young souls. Others believe a metaphorical interpretation where the piper is death itself, sweeping children away in plagues that ravaged medieval Europe. Another theory suggests it was an outbreak of dancing mania, a mysterious condition where people would dance uncontrollably until they dropped from exhaustion or madness. Perhaps the piper's music was just the catalyst for this strange epidemic. Can you imagine 30 children succumbing to such a bizarre fate? Yet another version speaks of witch hunts and scapegoating, where blame fell upon an outsider who simply wanted his due, only to find himself branded as evil by frightened townsfolk. Whatever the truth, it left Hamelin in ruins, its heart broken. The town's walls may have been strong enough to withstand invaders, but they could not protect their children from a mystery that still haunts us today. As we look back at this tale of loss and fear, we're reminded of how easily panic can turn into tragedy when trust is shattered. In Hamelin, it was rats. In our own lives, perhaps it's something else entirely. A lesson learned from history's darkest corners. So, as you walk through your daily life, consider the stories that shape our world. Sometimes, they whisper warnings about the dangers of greed and fear, urging us to hold on to hope even when all seems lost. If this journey into Hamelin's past has left you curious for more, make sure to subscribe to keep exploring these hidden histories together. Until next time, stay tuned. And remember, every story holds a lesson, if only we listen closely enough. Thank you for joining me today on this exploration of the Pied Piper and the mysteries that lie within our history books. Stay connected with us as we continue to unravel more tales from the past. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more adventures into the unknown.